the aviation
Yeah.
industry struggling right now. So it sounds like, based on a couple of news reports, they're serving, or they're down about 80% of
Yeah.
their typical traffic. So I don't know. What's your take on the current state of the airline industry?
Well, I've been reaching out to some of my acquaintances that are in the airline industry and support the airline industry. Roughly, what it sounds like now is, in at least in the United States, is 75 to 80% of the flights are essentially either shut down or empty, depending on the airline. International flights have essentially stopped for the most part. A lot of airplanes have been parked across the country. I saw a list this morning of all the different places, and it was a long list. I think it was in the Washington Post, where they had listed all the places that airplanes have been parked at. The consensus right now is that they haven't really. When 2001, I'll give you the comparison. In 2001 and 9/11, when that happened, obviously they shut down all flights for several days in the United States. No airplanes. Everybody had just immediately land. So wherever they were is where they landed. And then when it picked back up again, there was a hesitancy for people to go traveling again, and the airlines really suffered, and they started putting airplanes in the desert, basically mothballing them, permanently mothballing them, or selling them for scrap. That happened just because it took a longer time for the airlines to recover. In this case, it looks like the airplanes are pretty much in flying shape. They're just parked somewhere. There's going to be some changes, though. The a week ago, it would seem like all the airplanes are going to be back online pretty quickly, and then this week the attitude changed somewhat, which is disappointing. But I think what they're talking about is that the domestic flights, at least in the United States, are going to pick up relatively quickly. It's going to be the international routes, which means the bigger airplanes, I'm going to use Boeing as an example here, but like the 777, the 67, the 787, which do a lot of the long haul carrying and are the bigger airplanes, are not going to be as popular just because